Hi, I'm Patty Hodge, and this is DoctorNursesRock. This video is the first video in a series of 30 videos on the topic of grief that we're producing for the month of April this year. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the passing of a loved one, and I can't think of a better way to honor her memory than to offer information that's helpful to people. Grief is something that we all experience at some point in our life. Sometimes it happens in clusters. Sometimes it's a single event that changes the course of our lives. Often we don't speak about grief, and often we don't even recognize it when it's happening to ourselves. And we should be honoring the fact that other people may be experiencing grief that we don't know about. And this is one way to learn about it, to learn what it is, how it manifests, what to do about it, and how to honor the paths that other people are walking that may have some pain that they're not letting us know about, that they might not even recognize as a grief in their lives. So once you go through these 30 days, you will have met a great number of people who are experts or just plain folk who have some understanding about grief, some expertise in working with people that are grieving. And what my hope is that you'll walk away with a new vocabulary, with a new understanding of grief, with a new desire to do something about the grief you may be experiencing, or with a desire to help other people who may be grieving, and you have some knowledge to share with them about it. So stay with us, engage with these videos. These presenters were so generous with their time and talent, and I want to make sure that we all let them know how grateful we are for what they have done by producing these videos and interviews with me over the next 30 days. Today I'd like to do something a little bit different than what I've done on this channel before. I'm going to share a story with you that I first wrote for Medium.com. It was published a few years ago, and it's the story of the events that happened while I was moving after this loss that we experienced in our family. My story is called Lennox, Fossils, Goldfish and Tears, Moving While Grieving. I hope you'll enjoy this story. My friend held the ivory vase in her left hand and the packing paper in her right. "This is Lennox," she said. I nodded. She seemed surprised. Was she wondering why I owned something so refined? We were standing in my most personal space, purging my belongings. I knew she meant well. She was there to help. Yet it just highlighted the standoffish state of my relationships. We only knew each other from work, where I focused on caring for patients. Nothing about my unremarkable work attire or minimal adornments said appreciation for fine objects. I could not continue working, so my amazing friends and colleagues stepped up to help. They were concerned about me. I was worried about myself. I couldn't concentrate, remember, or make a decision. I best describe my state of mind as slogging through jello. I was an untethered boat on the edge of a storm with a malfunctioning compass. I was exhausted and felt exposed and raw, close to the edge of incivility. I didn't have the energy to speak, much less explain. My throat tightened with every strong emotion. I was grieving the loss of my young and beautiful daughter-in-law. There was questioning and resistance from family members about my leaving. Even my longtime ex, never known for healthy boundaries, thought it was okay to chime in about my choices. It was not okay. But now in my vulnerability, my treasures were scrutinized by people who had never been in my home. It felt beyond intrusive, but I couldn't handle things alone this time. I was being taught a cosmic lesson in humility. The thing about new grief is that it dredges up all the old. The vase was a gift from my friend's mother. Both my friend and her mother, anchors in my life since childhood, were also gone. The day she gave me the vase, Mrs. G told me to keep it full of flowers. You deserve it. I didn't fully believe her at the time. She was so proper, and I felt never quite good enough. She was linens and Lennox, formal dining, and pots of tea. I was the lost kid from the big family around the block. I didn't keep the vase full of flowers, but it was always in full view on my bedroom dresser. It helped me remember the countless moments of kindness, adventures with my friend, the haven of her home, and the warmth of belonging. I was taking the vase. The same day, same friend, hours later. This is a rock. You're taking a rock? Please wrap it and put it in the box. Yes, I'm taking a rock. I was sad, tired, and slow, but I was not insane. I know she thought I had lost my common sense. The world is full of rocks. There are rocks in Georgia, my destination. Had I been in a better state of mind, I would have laughed and explained. Now I just wanted to rest. It wasn't just a rock. It was my rock, damn it. It was a souvenir from a science trip with my daughter years ago. We stopped on the side of the road on the way to our destination. The busload of kids climbed a hill to examine the terrain and get an impromptu earth science lesson from the teacher. I stayed back and casually picked up this rock from the side of the road. I noticed tiny impressions. I recalled being with my father as he taught me about fossils. I wanted to show my daughter. It was a reminder of the age of the earth, the remnants of life long ended, yet leaving an impression. It reminded me of time with my dad, time with my little girl, learning, exploring, and being close. I was taking the rock, and a bowl full of shells, beach glass, and small gifts from loving people who gave them to me to remember them by. The time to leave was drawing near. I invited my closest friends to dinner so I could say a proper goodbye. My dining area was small by the back door adjacent to the kitchen. It held my round table, chairs, and cabinet with my 20-gallon fish tank. One of them asked me what I would do with my 2 goldfish. I was confused by the question. What do you mean? Well, will someone take them, or will you flush them? What was wrong with these people? Did they not know me at all? The older fish, Bling, had a swim bladder problem. One day it looked like he gave up the ghost. My brother and I spent a whole day reviving him. I don't spend time caring for my companion creatures so I can flush them when life gets hard. I'm bringing them with me. You're joking. Now I was sure that I was a stranger to people, even those I had known and loved for decades. I admit I was a different person in my grief. I hardly recognized myself in the mirror. My face was drawn and long, not round and pink as before. I looked hollow, as if all that was left was marrow in my bones. I was irritable. I've always been more of a listener than a talker, but my communication had never been worse. Words were lost somewhere inside, swimming in pools of guilt and shame and worry. I certainly had no energy to joke. I have a 5-gallon bucket that held kitty litter. I will bring them in the car with me and the cats. And I did. I arrived at the house in Georgia with 2 goldfish and -1 cat. If I was in grief when I left home, I was now being dangled over hell for some crime I didn't know I had committed. My Toby cat decided to abscond somewhere in Virginia. This just added more sadness and guilt on top of worry for his well-being. The tears were nonstop, for the 3 days of waiting and searching in Virginia, hoping he'd return. I remembered to shower and eat, but sobbed while doing both. Toby didn't come back. I wouldn't want to be near me either at the time. There is a happy ending, but that story is for another day. My son offered condolences about the cat. He asked how I was able to transport the goldfish. It was clear that we were all in bad shape. His grandfather, my dad, taught him to fish as a child. His sweet departed wife transported their little fish, Flipper, in one of their earlier moves. In a bucket, babe. Duh. It was the first time I laughed in weeks. I knew we'd be okay eventually. I'm even considering buying myself some flowers. Thank you for listening to that story. I think you'll hear in there a lot of symptoms of grief. I'm pleased to say that 10 years later, we're doing well. And I'm pleased to say that I know this series will help someone out there. Let us know if it's you. Thanks for being here. And come back each day for the new video that's presented. And let us know if something resonates with you. Bye for now.